Hello and welcome back to Newsroom Nigeria. This is where we give you hot, fresh, and sizzling news all day long. If this is your first time here, you have not subscribed to this channel, kindly click on the subscribe button down below. Also, leave your opinions in the comments section below as well. You guys, of recent, the way that Wike has been associating with some of his Supreme Court judges is so alarming, pardon me. Of recent, we saw him when he was commissioning the building project for judges in Abuja. Kekere Edun was in attendance, and a lot of people criticized him for that. They even criticized Kekere Edun for that as well, because they shouldn't be seen in close association with politicians, because these politicians have court cases with them. So how are you going to be able to administer justice when you are fraternizing, when you are partying, when you are having relationships with these politicians? Are you going to be very objective when these cases are brought before you? So those are, the subject of discussions. Those are, we also know that recently, with all of the court cases that Wike has in court, a lot of people have said that, these judges are on his payroll, that, with recently considering the Supreme Court cases that he won against Fubara, he won all of accounts, all of the cases brought before the Supreme Court he won. And a lot of people have questioned how that was able to happen. Is Wike paying these judges, considering that his wife is also a judge as well? Don't forget. So there have been questions surrounding his relationships with them, how he has been buying them gifts, cars, and the likes. Is he using all of these things to bribe them? But with recent happenings, it seemed like Wike is not even relenting. Wike is not listening to the naysayers. He's not listening to all of the criticism, because tell me how, Wike was in University of Calabar to receive a doctorate or an honorary doctorate, degree at the university during their convocation ceremony at this weekend. And he was sitting right next to a Supreme Court judge. But anyway, Odinkalu has a lot to say about this, and we are going to go into all of that in a moment. But first of all, let me remind you to subscribe to this channel if you haven't already done that. Give it a massive thumbs up as well. Odinkalu, a prominent lawyer and human rights advocate, has raised critical questions regarding the involvement of Supreme Court Justice Emmanuel Agim in recent developments related to the state of emergency in Rivers State. On social media, Odinkalu posted a series of tweets alleging that Justice Agim, who authored the controversial judgment on February 28, 2025, which led to the state of emergency in Rivers State, may have been present during the ceremony at the University of Calabar, Unical, where the Federal Capital Territory Minister, Nyesom Wike, was conferred with an honorary doctorate. In his tweet, Odinkalu questioned whether Justice Agim, who is depicted in a photograph alongside Wike, had accompanied the governor to the event. He pointedly asked if a Supreme Court justice, whose recent judgments have been heavily criticized, had become an accessory in the political mechanization surrounding the state of emergency. Emmanuel Agim, first left in the pic on the right, unless I am mistaken, was the Supreme Court justice who wrote the judgment of 28 February 2025, leading to the state of emergency in Rivers State. Did he accompany Governor Wike to Unical for this event? Supreme Court justice is now an accessory, Odinkalu tweeted. May God help us. Gone are the days when they will say that the court is the last hope of the masses. But these days, the court is the beginning of the problem for masses. The court is the beginning of a problem for masses, because the judgment goes to highest bidder these days. It is only those who can pay. Judges have turned themselves to products that is being bought by politicians. These judges are not, they are not being fair any longer. They are not being objective in their judgments. They only, what concerns them is the most is who can pay them. Can you imagine the open? It's just so shameful for countries such as Nigeria, that we call ourselves the pride of Africa or giant of Africa. What's the name we used to be called? Because I do not think that the name is relevant any longer. It's just the blatant disregard. This is a man, who pronounced the judgment, or the same judgment that led to the state of emergency in Rivers State of recent, February 28th. is still the same one who accompanied Wike to University of Calabar to accept an honorary doctorate degree. So which means that these two are friends. I think that there's a pattern here. There's a pattern. We are during Buhari's regime, the first thing Buhari did when he became the president of the country was to raid the houses of these judges. And guess what was found? Foreign currency in cash, foreign currency in dollars, in pounds were found in their houses. These are the same judges that we trust, that we think, should uphold the truth at all times, that should be objective at all times. They have now, turned themselves into an instrument. They have turned themselves into an accessory, into an instrument of anarchy. Imagine what this same court judgment from this same man, Agim, has caused in Rivers State. Now you are gallivanting with Wike in Calabar. Now you escorted Wike to Calabar to collect award. Gone as those days. I thought that judges are not supposed to fraternize with politicians, because the normal thing is, if you have a case in court or you have a case pending before a judge, you must not be seen within the certain number of kilometers around that same judge. You must not be seen within some certain radius around the judge, because you must not fraternize. You must not even go near the person. You must not go near the place. Because it is believed that if you are in association with that person, if you have a relationship with that person, you should not even accept the court case, because there is no how you can be objective. If you have a close relationship with someone and the person's case is brought before you, the normal thing for you to do is to reject the case, because you already have an existing relationship with that person and there's no how you can be objective. There is no how you can be fair. The normal thing to do is to reject it. But in this case, we are seeing this same man who just gave a court order favoring Wike. We are seeing him now, gallivanting, escorting him to an event in Calabar. You can see how this country is. Anyway, let's continue. The event in question took place during the University of Calabar's 50th anniversary and 37th convocation ceremony, where Wike was conferred with an honorary doctorate degree in law. The ceremony was attended by several high-profile figures, including Senate President, the Deputy Governor of Cross River State, senators, House of Representatives members, and traditional rulers, such as the embattled 15th Emir of Kano, Emir Bayero, the Emir, who also serves as the Chancellor of the University of Calabar, participated in the ceremony. Odinkalu also expressed concerns over the possibility of undue influence, highlighting that Justice Agim had authored judgment in favor of Wike, which he described as improbable, and issued like candidates. This comment reflects ongoing public controversy over the judgment that led to the declaration of a state of emergency in Rivers State, a decision that many have criticized as unconstitutional. It's so sad that, this is what the country has turned into. Judges are now for the highest bidder. If you steal chicken, you can go to prison for 30 years. While on the other hand, if you steal billions upon billions of naira, you cannot even smell prison if you can negotiate. If you have stolen 100 million naira, just negotiate that you will return 50 million naira and you will be let loose. You will be let to go. You'll be allowed to go. That is the way in this country. As bad as it is, that's the reality of things. Before we go, my people, let's take a look at some of the reactions we got online. My brother Odinkalu, stop eating your head on the wall. Everyone knows that Nigerian judicial system is for the highest bidder. If not, how can you explain Nnamdi Kanu's continued incarceration even after a court had freed him? Also, how can you explain why Mr. Sunday Igboho should be working freely and Nnamdi Kanu is still held? What is the difference in their so-called crimes? Take it or leave it, Nigeria is not going anywhere. Developmental-wise, even justice and crime is not addressed. Lawrence Adeyeye says, honestly, the judge or justice should avoid associating with politicians so that people will not read negative meaning to their judgment that involves those politicians. Amobi Ayasin says, Dele Farotimi was 100% right in his book, Nigeria is in a big mess. Another comment from Nelson says, what is the problem with Odinkalu? You people are evil, destroying rivers. Instead of finding the way forward for the peace of the state, you are going about monitoring Wike and causing confusion. Odinkalu should change his attitude. Thanks. So it is Odinkalu that is evil. Wike is not evil. The same Wike that bribed a judge is not evil. The same Wike that started this war, this crisis in Rivers State is not evil, but Odinkalu, who is analyzing, is evil. All right. Lastly, a comment from Peter says, penalties for damages done in Rivers State by the actions of Wike, what deaths by hanging? You all, let's have your thoughts and opinions in the comment section. What do you all think of all of this? Thank you very much for always listening and watching, guys. I'll see you all in my next video. Bye for now.